Ode to Billie Joe is a song by American singer-songwriter Bobbie Gentry released by Capitol Records in July 1967, and later used as the title track of her debut album. 5 weeks after its release, the song topped Billboard's pop singles chart. It also appeared in the top 10 of the adult contemporary and hot R&B singles charts, and in the top 20 of the hot country songs list. The song takes the form of a first-person narrative performed over sparse acoustic guitar accompaniment with strings in the background. It tells of a rural Mississippi family's reaction to the news of the suicide of Billie Joe McAllister, a local boy to whom the daughter, and narrator, is connected. The song received widespread attention, leaving its audience intrigued as to what the narrator and Billie Joe threw off the Tallahatchie Bridge. Gentry later clarified that she intended the song to portray the family's indifference to the suicide in what she deemed a study in unconscious cruelty, while she remarked the object thrown was not relevant to the message. Bobbie Gentry's debut single, Ode to Billie Joe, created a mystery that captivated the nation. Gentry sings the tale of two teenage lovebirds from Mississippi to an accompaniment of acoustic guitar chords, atmospheric strings and a sensual southern voice. We still haven't figured out what actually happened on Choctaw Ridge 40 years later, despite the filmic details included in the song's lyrics. Ode to Billie Joe takes the form of a first-person narrative by the young daughter of a Mississippi Delta family. It offers fragments of dinnertime conversation on the day that a local boy, an acquaintance of the narrator, jumped to his death from a nearby bridge. The account is interspersed with everyday, polite, mealtime conversation. The song's last verse conveys the passage of events over the following year. The song begins on June 3rd with the narrator, her brother and her father returning from farming chores to the family house for dinner. After reminding them to clean their feet, the mother announces she received news from Choctaw Ridge. Billie Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge. The verse is repeated through the song as the story develops to heighten the mystery. Unmoved, the father comments that Billie Joe never had a lick of sense, before asking for the biscuits and adding "There's 5 more acres in the lower 40, I've got to plow." The brother then expresses his surprise, but continues eating his meal. Gentry's comments on the lyrics. In August 1967, Gentry told the Los Angeles Times she wanted to show people's lack of ability to empathize with others' tragedy. She pointed at the mother, noticing but not understanding her daughter's lack of appetite, while later the daughter is unaware of the similarity of her mother's behavior after the father dies. Gentry explained that both characters had isolated themselves in their own personal tragedies, and remained unconcerned for the others. The songwriter compared the end product to a play. On the object thrown off the Tallahatchie Bridge, she commented that the audience had found more meanings than she had intended. Gentry mentioned the theories she had heard at the time included a baby, a wedding ring, or flowers. While she indicated that what happened at the bridge was the motivation behind Billie Joe's suicide, she had left that open to the listener's interpretation. Gentry remarked the song's message revolved around the nonchalant way the family discussed the suicide and that what was thrown off of the bridge was included because it established a relationship between Billie Joe and the daughter, and provided a possible motivation for his suicide the next day. Gentry said she had no answer and her sole motivation was to show people's apathy. In an interview with the Associated Press in November 1967, Gentry called the song a study in unconscious cruelty. "I've hoped to get across the basic indifference, the casualness, of people in moments of tragedy. Something terrible has happened, but it's past the black-eyed peas, or y'all remember to wipe your feet." Gentry told the news agency that audiences still asked her what was thrown off the bridge rather than noticing the thoughtlessness of people expressed in the song, adding that what had been thrown was unimportant. She said people suggested to her it was a draft card, or a bottle of LSD pills. The songwriter clarified she knew what it was, but said she considered it irrelevant to the story, and repeated that she had deliberately left interpretation open. The interview ended with Gentry's suggestion that it could have been a wedding ring. Gentry told the New York Times in 1969, "I had my own idea what it was while I was writing it, but it's not that important. Actually, it was something symbolic. But I've never told anyone what it was, not even my own dear mother."